Hey guys, welcome to another Ride in the Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. Today we are playing against a 12K on OGS, and we have a really interesting game. Our friend played exceptionally strong at the beginning of the game, but then we were able to really reduce most of their groups. And so we can kind of go over how we can exploit weaknesses to do that. We also go over some really important lessons. There's a lot to learn from this game when we follow both the basic rules and the beyond the basic rules. There's really a lot to learn in this one, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. As per always, I'd like to thank our opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting the channel. So with that out of the way, let's get into this very interesting game. Okay, here we go. We are playing against a 12K on OGS. We are going to be following our basics and beyond the basic rules. But let's start with the basics. We care about our corners and then the sides. I will go and kick this stone. We can also look at just playing the diagonal or the knight's move, but we'll just kick. This is a pretty straightforward one. We expect our opponent to extend, and then we will jump. This secures the corner. Black will extend and get a presence on the side. So now we are back to caring about the corners. So let's go after this one here. I'll just approach high, and we get this kind of weird pincer thing. Pretty far away, but we can still consider it a pincer. And so I'm just going to attach. This is our normal response when they play on the other side. So we will attach to this stone. And then after Black Hanes, we want to extend because there's a cut here. So we're going to do this. Black should do something on this side. And then we're just going to take this extension. And this is the extension we would normally take anyway, even with this stone not being there. So this seems fine. And then Black goes and makes a base. Seems perfectly reasonable. We now have this corner that has, a somewhat strong group on one side, another strong group on the other side. So I think we should do something about this. And so we will just go and make our small knight's move to get a little bit of strength here. Black should probably now go extend off of the last corner, and they do. That is a good heads up play. So now the corners are mostly spoken for. So let's look at the sides. We can play a move like this to threaten these two stones. We can play a move over here. I think I'm just going to play this. This helps secure the corner a little bit more, though it's still not fully secured, and it pressures these two stones. And so we'll see how Black responds. And Black Tanukis, that is interesting because these two stones are a little lonely now. With that said, I don't really see a great way to attack them quite yet. And if you don't know how to attack a group, you should just continue playing. And what'll happen is either your opponent will use one of their moves to fix the group, or as the game develops, you'll figure out a good way to attack it. Though I do really want to pressure this. So I'm going to just jump, make this group very, very strong, and get ahead of any running that this group can do. Our friend probably should defend this group at this point, but they did not. But this is also a nice big move. So the question is, and just like last game, this will be our question of the game because this is a very important one. So our question is, are we going to attack these two stones, or do we want to go invade the right side? Because those are really the two options right now. The largest area on the board is the right side. But then we've got this group that we pressured, but didn't really didn't get a response from. In this case, we'll go back to what I was talking about earlier, where if we're not really sure how to attack this group, let's just keep on playing and see how the game develops. I want to go and invade here. So I'm just going to jump in here. It's a very natural invasion point. It's close to our strength, so we'll have more support as we run out. And Black can look at playing something like S10 to go and develop this side. This just allows us to jump out very, very easily. And so that's what we're going to do. Because in the back of my mind, I do know that I want to attack this group. So if we're able to get some stones in Sente in the middle of the board, we can really pressure this group. Okay, and now black falls back, plays an early second line move. That's a little unfortunate. I think I'm just going to play here to fully surround black and again get some strength in the center, because as we get this strength in the center, these two stones are going to be a little unhappy. Our opponent plays another second line move. We are going to push through this shape, right? There's a cut here. We need to be mindful of cuts, both our cuts and our opponent's cuts, and our opponent left us a cut here. So we're going to take the cut. That is what we are doing, following our basic rules, and our opponent blocks. So the question is, do we really want to play this early second line move? And it's a mistake to play this because black is already alive here. Black is going to be fine here. We don't want them getting S10 for free. So I think it is time to play away. And now that we have this strength over here, I think it probably is time to go after these stones. So let's play here and make it so it's tougher for this group to run out. Because if black jumps, we could play something like J4. And to show you what I mean is if black jumps here, we could play a move like this, which is difficult to deal with because if black connects here, we get to descend and the stone dies. And if black plays here, we get to take this cut and everything kind of falls apart. But black plays this nice peep. I like this move. It is a good move. In this case, however, we're not going to block here. We're going to block here. Important direction is stopping our opponent from running out to the center. So we're actually going to respond here. And this will make it tougher for our friends to escape. If they push through, we can block. And this cut isn't going to work. We are going to block. That was our plan all along. So that is what we are going to do. This will give us some very good control over the center of the board, which will become important later, right? The center of the board is not important right now, so we're not going to put more moves into it, but surrounding groups is always important. Very unfortunate move by our opponent here, playing this empty triangle. In this case, we are just going to descend. We want to reduce any eye space that black can get here. Black probably needs to play a move like H4. If we get H4, it's going to be a little tricky for this group to live, I think, but not impossible. We'll give them another shot. We'll play F2, see if our opponent can play H4. So in case there's a cut here, and it's possible that that might kill black, but I don't think so. I think black's actually okay now that I've done a little more reading. With that said, I do want to play this. I want to make this group as small as possible. And here... So here we have a choice. I was not expecting this. We can block, and then black's 100% alive. Or we can play here, which might locally kill the group, but then black gets to run out. And remember, surrounding in Sente is always a success. So this was probably a mistake. Our opponent called us out on it. It's a good job. But we still get to surround in Sente. This is important. Again, we don't aim to kill with our attacks. And surrounding in Sente is often good enough. So in this case, if black takes this cut, black is alive, but let's look at what we got out of this. We secured a very large corner. We secured this territory as ours, and now we have some great control over the center of the board. So while black lived, it really isn't a big deal. And there's still some Aji here because this is an Atari, and we can look at maybe reducing eye space later. But for now, it's time to move on because we have to ask ourselves, was this move Sente? This move is not Sente. So we should go and play what we consider to be the largest move on this board. So that's still probably something up here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show us a classic reduction point, which is right here. So when we have this small knight's move off the 3-4 stone, and they have strength in the area, you can play here, which threatens to attach here, threatens to attach here. So depending on what direction black goes, we can go and take the other direction. So let's see how black responds to this. So black plays here. So that does not stop this attachment. So we can go and take this attachment. We can play here first as well. So actually, let's do that. It threatens the cut, so black needs to block now. and then we'll get to take this Hane. And again, this was done just as a reduction. And so this is already looking fairly successful. So we can block here. And now this stone is kind of isolated. And so that is good. Our friend plays a Peep. I like this Peep. I think this is a good one. I don't think we have any other response other than playing this. That forces us to make ugly shape, and so I think that is good. And black makes some good shape here. Black's playing this game fairly well. I am impressed with how our friend is playing. So we are the weak ones here. When we are weak, we can go and attach to stones to get strength. Again, when we attach to stones, it makes both groups stronger. So it's going to make black stronger, but it's also going to make us stronger. And since black was already strong, who cares if black gets stronger? We were weak, so we are happy to get stronger. So that is what we are going to do. Okay, and then black plays here. That looks like it aims to take this cut as it kind of takes a direction away from us. So I am going to respond to this move. So when we ask ourselves, is this sensei? We have to consider many things, including our cuts. So I'm just going to go fix that cut. Okay, now black jumps out. This group is nice and safe, though. This group, on the other hand, we're still not so sure about that. So we are also going to jump out to make sure that we do not get fully surrounded. It's worth noting these 3 stones are not alive yet. So if we fully surround these stones, black will be in a little bit of trouble. And so now black jumps out here. I like this move. I like this move quite a bit. I wonder if it's worth separating these 2 groups. I'd like to get this group a little stronger first. So I'm going to continue jumping out to make sure that this group is not in trouble. And now we can look at a move like this, which threatens to link up, threatens to surround. I think this move does a lot. So I'm going to play this one. So now that we're kind of transitioned into middle game, we're past the basics, right? And so this is where we want to get into the beyond the basics, which really talks about the middle game a lot more. So this diagonal, we should treat this as an attachment, and we know to respond to attachments. And the reason is we can treat this like an attachment is when we play here, it is as if we had a stone at J13 and our opponent attached to it, and then in that case, we knew that we would have to respond. And so respond we did. So here, black is looking to link up. That is fine. I'm going to extend because this threatens to cut, and it gives our weaker group more strength. So that is what we're doing here. And yeah, this is going to get a little tricky. We're probably going to have to try to find a way to connect up to our group over here. And remember, this helped us control the center, right? That is what that group was for. So let's see what this little jump does. See if we can somehow connect to one of our groups here. Black is saying no, but black is saying no with some very weak shape. Look at this cut that's here. And we've got our strength right here. And we know from our video talking about playing away from strength that these strong stones, they want to fight. So let's fight. We're going to take this cut and try to isolate this stone. But we'll be happy just to connect. So if black wants to jump away, we will just connect. But if black wants to fight, we will absolutely fight. So let's go and continue taking our cut. And then we will continue taking our cut. So now we are connected up. We're connected up to this living group. So we are alive, which is a good thing. So here, do we now care about this cut? I think we do, right? This cut wasn't a problem before, but now that black's got a stone here, and this is what I mean when, why I have listed to always assess your cuts. This cut wasn't a problem when we played it, but we have to continuously assess our cuts, which is one of the tougher things to do. But now that this cut is a problem, we are going to fix it. And so now we are fully connected up, and these 2 stones are not yet alive. So that is good for us. There's still a potential cut here, so we are going to need to fix that when black gives us an opportunity to do so. Okay, and black is blocking some weaknesses that were over here that I was going to use to connect up if they tried to cut. So now it is the time to fix this situation. So we're just going to play here to help make sure that these stones are connected. I was kind of hoping that they were going to cut so I could show some, how to exploit weaknesses over here. But we did not get the opportunity to do that. Okay, and so here we are just going to extend to fully connect. Black now has a weakness with a cut here and a cut here. Worth noting that, again, this group isn't 100% alive yet. So if we take this and here, it might be problematic for Black. We can start with this and threaten to cut through. That could be something. Or we could come over here and then try to surround these stones. So I think this is actually probably the more straightforward, right? Just go and take this turn and then maybe play a move like this to kill these two stones. I think that's probably a more basic approach. But let's make it a little trickier. Can I just a smidge? Let's play this shoulder hit. Because this is Sente. If Black doesn't respond, we get to push through, which will isolate this stone. Black's got to be a little careful here. Black has to be a little careful here because there's a cut here. This is getting a little beyond, right? Which is why we call them the beyond the basics. But let's go threaten this cut now. And now we can play here, which isolates these two stones. And so Black got a little ahead of themselves when they played D8. It would have been, I think, more straightforward to play here. And then I was just going to do this to just fully block off those stones. And it's fair for Black to not want that. Okay, so Black plays here to Atari this stone. That is fine. We can just extend. This stone was played to be able to let us get out. I will show this in the review. I don't want to keep on clicking back. Actually, that's not true. We will click back right now. I wanted to play the stone so that if Black played here and I did this, that Black can't play here because this was a little annoying. If we had just played here and Black played this and we played here and Black plays here, I don't think this works for us. But since this is here now and Black played here, Black can no longer play here. So that's why we did this. So we're going back to the game. So this stone, completely sacrificial. We don't need it at all. We're just going to extend now. And that probably kills these two stones. So a little trickier than we probably needed to do things. But our opponent's playing really well. And so I just needed to show these things. So here our opponent plays the Hane, but it doesn't work, unfortunately, right? Because we can play here, which threatens to kill the stone, so Black cannot cut. And now we can just connect here, which tars this stone. But more importantly, this group is disconnected. But Black is putting up a fight. We will respond to this move. We will play here. We need to be a little mindful of this cut. Black may play this Atari to try to connect up because we do have our own weaknesses as well. So now Black is definitely getting a little creative here. I like it. I like it a lot. And you want to know what? I'm going to reward Black because there is absolutely a weakness here. I'm going to protect our cut here. And if Black wants to take this cut, that is fine. We'll still end up getting these two stones. That's all we were looking for from this. And the fact that we got B10 is pretty big. So this will all be okay. One thing that's been pointed out to me in the past is I should be rewarding clever play for my opponents. So, okay, so Black is looking to connect up. So what do we want to do here? What do we want to do? I think it is fine to just connect. Let Black connect up, and it'll be okay. So Black can play here. Yep, that works. That works as well. So good job, Black. So we're going to go take this Atari, which will obviously either black loses the stone or loses a ton of points here. And so black captures there. So the question now, though, is this Sente? Do we need to play right here? And the answer is no. Let's go transition into some endgame moves. We will play here, which obviously threatens to reduce this area. We will go and follow it up with our first line Hane, which is the endgame 101 for getting Sente. We play here, and black needs to protect this stone, else it'll be captured. Black does. And now we will do the same move here. Although black cannot play R19 right now, black needs to play R18. I'm telling you guys, this guy, they play strong. They play strong for 12k. We will extend. Now black can play the Hane. We will connect. And now black does this. So there's some sneakiness here. We can play this to threaten to cut through and then take this Atari and connect because there are cuts. And so let's showcase what we can do with cuts, because this shape looks like it can't be cut. And we play here, we threaten the cut. And if black blocks, we get this Atari and then we get to connect. And again, this group not quite alive yet. So when we go and play here and then connect, this group suddenly isn't the healthiest. It's not bad, just not the healthiest. Okay, so we can go play here. And black can Atari and we'll connect, and that's fine because now the groups are cut. And here, the issue is this wall, right? We can play moves like this, and really reduce what this turns into. So let's just play a very basic move. Not aiming to kill this group. We probably could have killed this group. I just want to reduce it. I just want to reduce it to essentially 0 points. So we're going to play here, and then we're going to threaten this cut. Oh, black's got to be real careful here, because if I play K16, then this turns into a vital point again. Okay, so good job there. I'm going to play this, and black now needs to play something like J18. That works as well, but you see now how few points. And even here, black's going to be a little careful because we can play this and then into this. So for now, we'll just go play this large endgame move. But you can see how this cut helped turn this into so few points. Okay, so now what do we want to do? I think we want to threaten to push in here. I think black needed to descend because there's this Atari into this. So let's go play a little sneaky. It's fun to showcase the sneaky moves sometimes. We'll play this, which threatens to cut. And now we can Atari this stone. And Atari this, which also threatens to cut. So black probably needs to play here now. So where now? Where are our next large endgame moves? S2 is quite large. So we will play that. And we will play T2 as well. So now we're going to turn this into very few points. So I guess this game turned into how to reduce your opponent's groups. So we'll go and play here, which threatens to kill these 3 stones. So black needs to do something about that. And we will go and play this, make sure we are fully connected. So you can see that black ended up living everywhere, but this turned into, 7 or so points. This turned into, if I get my next reduction in, it turned into 2 points. This didn't turn into much. This didn't turn into much. This didn't turn into much. So let's see. Let's just go and do this. Oh no, did I just kill his group? I hope not. I'm not trying to kill. Okay, so black can play here. Good. And I'll play here. But this isn't going to be an I. That's okay. I think black will live. Let's, I'm going to play this, and hopefully black can just play here. Although black now needs to care about this cut. All the things. Okay, we'll display here. And hopefully black will play a move like this, be fully alive, and everything will be fine. Black, we need you to play a move like that so you don't die. Okay, we're gonna play this because I think black is still alive if black plays b14. If black plays b14. Oh no, black's still dead if they play b14. I'm not going to kill this group. I refuse to. That is not what we are doing today. But if we play right here, I think black dies. Actually, I'm pretty sure black dies. But we'll just play here. We'll give black the opportunity to play d14. Black, we needed to play d14. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. Not doing it. We will go and block here. That's what we are going to do. We'll let black eventually find d14. Okay, that's fine. We will go play here. The bus driver can't always be cruel, guys. I know so many of you are bloodthirsty, and you guys complain, and you're like, Gabe, you should be killing that group. And I'm here to tell you, no, I'm not going to kill everything. We do not need to kill everything. You should kill that group. I would be disappointed in you particular, if you did not kill that group. But me, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Okay. What are we going to do? I'm just going to capture. Just keep this real simple. Didn't really feel like reading there to figure out what the best optimal play is. Okay. Yeah, honestly, that's fine. We'll just cover. We'll Atari. We'll let black kill. That's fine. Okay, black goes that way. That's interesting. That is interesting. Let's play here. Threatens to cut, so black needs to play. Okay, and let's show you the reduction here, because it's kind of cool. We can play this, which threatens to kill, so black needs to play J18, or that. But black can still play J18 after this. We're going to play here. Black plays J18. That's a choice. We'll play here. And sure. I mean, this is all coming in Sente for our opponent. Okay, so then we play here. And now black is alive with 2 points. So yes, this is the game of big reductions. Okay, and at this point, we've pretty much reduced everything we can. So I'm going to catch you guys at the end of this game, and we'll go into the review. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game. It's important to point out that d14 did eventually get played, though it was only 3 moves before we passed. So it took a little bit for our friend to find that group was in some trouble, but that is okay. I think otherwise our friend played exceptionally well this game. So let's jump into the review and see where our friend could have done better. Okay, so here we are in the review, and I think everything went really well. I think our friend played exceptionally well at the beginning of this game. This is a perfectly fine move. It's not what we'd expect to see. We'd expect to see a pincer being either here, or the very typical attachment. But this is perfectly playable. All of this went fine. Yeah, I think all of this was played really well. I thought this was a very bold Tanuki. I like it a lot. I like that he wasn't going to allow himself to be bullied, and played away and played a very big move. I think this is very strong play at the beginning of the game, but this one really surprised me. I'm really surprised that they Tanuki'd from this, but of course, this is a huge move, and this is a play style that I actually like really doing, where you leave behind just one weak group and deal with it later. I was expecting a move like this to jump out, or a move like this to try to get some life, but I cannot fault our friend for playing this move. It's really good. It's a good move. Okay, so here, this is a little tricky, right? There's, we've just got these 3 stones, which aren't 100% alive yet, and we're jumping in. I do think that this probably would have been a better play just to get some potential here, because this forces white to jump out. Things do get a little hairy if we play this way, but I think black would be alive here. So playing here just forces us to jump out, and then coming back to play a second line move. It does feel needed though, right? Because this group is in trouble. So we jump here, and then our friend pushes here. This move I don't like. Here, either we should have Tanuki'd or played a move like this. But it is also important to note just how weak these stones are now. And black probably should look at jumping up now. I think everything has been fine up till here, but I think letting us get this was probably a little much. But I really like this response. I'm sure our opponent was expecting this and allowing black to get this, but that's not how we played because there's really not much to go here. If black is going to push here, if you guys have watched the video on cuts, you know that if you're pushing, you have to cut. You have to follow it up with the cut. If you are not going to play this cut, do not play the push. Here, it's really important because this is where this rule really shines. Right now, this group has 3 liberties. When black pushes through and we play here, black now only has 2 liberties. Black's connected, but this is relevant. It's relevant that that there are only 2 liberties here now. So black should have cut immediately or not taken this push and just played here if this is where black wanted to play. Because this isn't Sente for anybody, right? Black can just run right out. I did think that black was going to cut here. This gets tough for us, but I think we are okay. I think we win this race, but it's tough. It's tough to see that. Okay, so black plays and does all this. This is fine. I think black needs to keep on going and just accept that this is going to be a little painful. But yeah, I mean, this does come in Sente or black gets to live. But yeah, so here, a little bit of an overplay by us, I think. And I think black did a good job of calling it out. And it's important here. This is a really important lesson because this is a situation that I see in a lot of students' games, a lot of games that I review, where like this can be a turning point in the game, where white makes a mistake, just now realizes that they made a mistake, and now they're going to save this stone, and they're going to play here, and black's going to get out. And so now this fight, which could have been completely encapsulated, right? We could have completely surrounded this group. Now this is going to be a fight that sprawls across the entire board, and white's not really going to get much out of this. As where if white just surrounds in Sente, it's so good. Who cares if black lives? Black gets so few points here, and we're getting this fantastic influence that ended up being very, very relevant for this game. So yeah, so this could have been a situation where if we connected and black ran out, this could have gone very, very poorly for us. Okay, so we surround, black lives, we Tanuki, black plays here. This seems reasonable. Black could have also considered kicking here and seeing how we responded. Maybe going here now or taking the top, depending on what black wants to do. Because if white jumps in here, black can play here. These 2 stones will live. It's fine. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough once we play here for black to get both of these territories. So black plays here. We go and do this. This all seems fine. Strong play by black. I think black did a good job here. Here, I would keep on pushing. And if white wants to jump out again, consider a move like this. We have to recognize that the 3 stones at the top are not fully alive yet, and they're now up against a very thick group of whites. So, so doing this to force white to go in the direction that we wanted to go, it also, all of a sudden black can play here, and it looks like some territories, some potential is being developed here. So this could have been an option for black. But black didn't do that. Black played here, which I do actually like because it threatens this cut. It's very sneaky too, right? If we jump out, black can do this. And now all of a sudden these 3 stones aren't in particularly great shape. They actually look very, very dead. So I liked this. I thought this was a very slick move. I don't know if that was the intent of black's when black played here, but very sharp move. So we fix, and then black jumps out, which forces us to jump out. And then black plays here, which I think was also reasonable, right? To keep this group down, to hope to connect up with these stones. So we jumped, and then we got pretty aggressive here. This, I do think it would have been better for black to play here. Again, there's really no points to be had in the center. Black could have been doing this to further attack this group, but there are too many weaknesses. There are just too many weaknesses on this board to be able to contain this group. So we go here. This is all fine. Black recognizes that their top group isn't the greatest. So this all seems reasonable until here. I think this is a bit of an overplay. I think black needs to recognize that there's no more attacking this group. And so black just needs to move on, take their sente, and continue playing this game. Maybe with a move like this, just force us to, force us to connect up, and then maybe play here to turn this into some territory. But yeah, this is just a little too much, and I think black gets in a little bit of trouble here. So black could try looking at this cut here, but it doesn't work in the way that it normally would, where black would want to take this cut because we can get these two stones. Black could consider something like this, but when we play here, it fixes the cut and threatens to connect up, and these three stones are already alive. So if black takes this now, we get this, we're connected up. Now these stones are in trouble, and yeah, these stones are cut off, and black could do this and be alive, but we're alive, and now all of a sudden a move like this probably kills this group. So black definitely needs to be careful here. So I think this was a fine move to block us from getting that move here. So I think black handled that very well. And then I liked this move as well. I think black did a really great job here. Here, I do think black just needs to accept that, this is going to hurt a little bit. Black can do something like this and reduce it, and this is fine. But doing this, I think, gets black in a little bit of trouble because of this move. It's a sneaky move. Again, if we just go here, I'm worried about this move. But once we play here, which threatens this cut and black fixes, now that isn't there. And so that's what I pointed out in game. And so this is fine. And here we definitely could have gotten more aggressive than we were. We could just play this now because this is not going to work because of something like this. We can play here, which threatens to kill. We can play this, and I don't think black's going to be able to do anything in here. I did not read all this out. I was willing to entertain black's attempts to connect up, and I think that is fine because his opponents likely would not have been able to block this connection. So I took that, and I knew that this was a good enough reward. So from here on out, it was all kind of forced. We're already in endgame. But I guess black does definitely need to recognize life and death shapes. Black did a fine job up here. But once we got to here, once I played this, I realized I was like, oh no. Like I said in the game, I was like, oh no, like, did I just kill him? I may have just killed him. Because yeah, we go and make these exchanges, and we all know this shape. We know this, right? But here, I think black can probably maybe live with this. I'm unsure. Black is probably already dead. But we played here. I was really hoping that black would do this to get alive. But once this happens, black is dead, and black died in Gote. They committed the number one sin of Go, which is dying in Gote. Remember, never die in Gote. So from here on out, this group is dead. We didn't end up killing it. We let him find the vital point at D14. But yeah, a little surprising considering how strong they played throughout this game that they let this shape form. So that's where we're going to leave this review. Again, I think our opponent played exceptionally well. We kind of showcased how we are able to just reduce everything. I don't need to go over that again in the review. But yeah, it really turned into just a whole bunch of reducing groups, which is the downside of playing the very loose and very fast style, right? Where you're staking claims all over the board, doing so efficiently, but you need to know how to protect those groups. And in this case, that's something that our friends could work on. But again, they're 12K. I think they handled this game very, very well. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave this one. Thank you guys for coming out for another ride in the Struggle Bus where every wheel is an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.